Welcome to the English podcast station. Are you learning English? Great! This video is perfect for you. We will tell you an amazing story in simple English. You will learn new words and understand how a great company, Apple, started. Listening to stories like this can really help you improve your English. So, relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the story of Steve Jobs. Now, let's begin our journey into the life of a remarkable person. Chapter 1, A Different Beginning. Steve Jobs' story didn't start like many others. He wasn't born into a rich family. In fact, he was adopted as a baby by Paul and Clara Jobs. They were kind and loving parents who raised him in Mountain View, California. This area was becoming a center for new technology. From a young age, Steve was curious and a bit of a rebel. He wasn't always interested in school. He found some classes boring. But he was very interested in how things worked. He liked to take things apart and put them back together. This curiosity would later help him create amazing things. His father, Paul, was a machinist. He showed Steve how to work with his hands. They would work on electronics together in the garage. This hands-on experience was very important for Steve. It taught him about building things and solving problems. His mother, Clara, was supportive of his interests. She encouraged him to read and learn. Even though school wasn't his favorite place, he learned a lot on his own. He would spend hours reading about electronics and how things were made. One person who had a big influence on young Steve was a neighbor named Larry Lang. Larry was an engineer at Hewlett-Packard, HP, a big technology company. Larry saw Steve's interest in electronics and showed him around HP. This visit opened Steve's eyes to the world of technology and inspired him. Steve's early life was about exploring and learning in his own way. He didn't always follow the rules, but he was always thinking and trying new things. This different beginning helped shape the person he would become. Chapter 2, Dropping Out and Finding His Way. After high school, Steve went to Reed College in Oregon. But he didn't stay there for long. After only 6 months, he dropped out. This might sound strange, but Steve had his reasons. He felt that the college wasn't helping him learn what he wanted to learn. He said that the money his parents were spending on his tuition could be better used. Even though he dropped out, Steve didn't leave the college completely. He stayed on campus for another 18 months, just taking the classes that interested him. One of these classes was calligraphy, the art of beautiful handwriting. At the time, it seemed unimportant for technology. But later, Steve said that this calligraphy class greatly influenced the design of the fonts on the first Macintosh computer. This shows that you never know where your interests might lead you. During this time, Steve was exploring different ideas and experiences. He was interested in Eastern philosophy and even experimented with different diets. He was searching for his path in life. Living without being a full-time student was not easy. Steve didn't have a lot of money. He slept on friends' floors and collected empty bottles to return them for money to buy food. He also ate free meals at a local temple. It was a difficult time, but Steve was learning about life and what was important to him. This period of dropping out and exploring was crucial for Steve. It gave him the freedom to learn what he was truly passionate about. It also taught him to be independent and resourceful. These experiences would later be very important in his journey to create Apple. Chapter 3, Meeting Woz and the Spark of an Idea. A very important moment in Steve's life was when he met Steve Wozniak. Wozniak, or Woz, as he was often called, was a brilliant engineer. He loved to design and build electronics. He was also a bit of a prankster and had a great sense of humor. Steve and Woz had a few things in common. They both loved electronics, and they both had a bit of a rebellious spirit. They met through a mutual friend, and they quickly became friends. Wozniak had a talent for creating amazing things with electronics. He designed his own computer, the Apple I. It was a simple but innovative machine. Wozniak just wanted to share his creation with other hobbyists, people who were interested in computers as a hobby. Steve Jobs saw something more in Wozniak's creation. He saw the potential for a real product that people could buy and use. He had the vision to turn Wozniak's hobby project into a business. Steve convinced Wozniak to start a company together. They would build and sell Wozniak's computer. Wozniak would be the technical genius, and Steve would handle the business side of things. This partnership between the inventor and the visionary was the spark that would eventually lead to Apple. Their early meetings often took place in Steve Jobs' garage. It was a humble beginning for a company that would later become one of the biggest in the world. In that garage, with limited resources but a lot of enthusiasm, the seeds of Apple were sown. Chapter 4: The birth of Apple in a garage. The garage of Steve Jobs' childhood home became the first headquarters of Apple Computer Company. It wasn't a fancy office with desks and computers. It was a simple space where they could work with tools and electronics. Steve and Wozniak didn't have much money. They had to be creative and resourceful. They sold Steve's Volkswagen van and Wozniak's Hewlett-Packard scientific calculator to raise some initial capital. This small amount of money was all they had to start their dream. Their first product was the Apple I computer. It was basically a circuit board that users had to put into their own case and connect to a monitor and keyboard. Wozniak designed it to be simple and easy for hobbyists to use. Steve took on the role of selling the Apple I. He managed to get their first big order from a local computer store called the Byte Shop. The owner of the store wanted 50 assembled computers. This was a huge challenge for Steve and Wozniak. They had to work hard and fast to build them. They managed to fulfill the order, and it gave them their first taste of success. It showed them that there was a market for personal computers. People were interested in having their own computers at home. The early days in the garage were filled with hard work, late nights, and a lot of problem solving. They learned to work together and to overcome challenges. This small beginning in a garage was the foundation upon which Apple would be built. It showed that even the biggest ideas can start in the most unexpected places. Chapter 5: The Apple II and Early Success. After the Apple I, Steve and Wozniak started working on their next computer, the Apple II. This computer was a big step forward. Unlike the Apple I, the Apple II came in a nice plastic case and had color graphics. This made it much more appealing to a wider audience. Wozniak's engineering skills were key to the Apple II's success. He designed it to be user-friendly and powerful for its time. The color graphics were a big innovation and made the Apple II stand out from other computers. Steve Jobs also played a crucial role. He had a strong sense of design and insisted that the Apple II look good. He believed that even a computer should be aesthetically pleasing. This focus on design would become a hallmark of Apple products. The Apple II was a huge success. It became popular with hobbyists, educators, and even businesses. It was one of the first personal computers to achieve mass-market success. This success brought money and recognition to Apple. With the success of the Apple II, Apple started to grow. They hired more people and moved out of the garage into a real office building. The company was becoming more professional, but the spirit of innovation and the drive to create great products remained. The Apple II laid the groundwork for Apple's future success. It showed that there was a big market for personal computers that were both powerful and easy to use. It also established Apple as a company that cared about design and the user experience. Chapter 6: The Lisa and a Glimpse of the Future. In the early 1980s, Apple started working on a new computer called the Lisa. The Lisa was a very ambitious project. It was one of the first personal computers to use a graphical user interface, GUI. A GUI uses pictures and icons that you can click on with a mouse, instead of typing commands. This made computers much easier to use for people who weren't technical experts. Steve Jobs was initially very involved with the Lisa project. He had a strong vision for the future of computing and believed that GUIs were the way forward. However, the Lisa project faced many challenges. It was expensive to develop, and there were technical difficulties. Eventually, Steve Jobs was moved away from the Lisa project and became involved with another project that was just starting, the Macintosh. However, his early involvement with the Lisa helped to shape his ideas about user-friendly computing. Even though the Lisa itself wasn't a commercial success, it was important because it introduced many innovative ideas that would later be used in other computers, including the Macintosh. It showed the potential of making computers more intuitive and accessible to everyone. The Lisa represented Apple's ambition to push the boundaries of technology and to create products that were not just functional but also easy and enjoyable to use. It was a glimpse into the future of personal computing. Chapter 7: The Macintosh Revolution. The Macintosh, or Mac, was a truly revolutionary computer. Steve Jobs played a central role in its development. He had a clear vision for the Mac. It should be incredibly easy to use, even for people who had never used a computer before. The Mac took the graphical user interface ideas from the Lisa and made them more affordable and accessible. It featured a mouse, icons, and windows, all of which made interacting with the computer much more intuitive than typing commands. Steve Jobs was deeply involved in every aspect of the Mac's design. He paid attention to the smallest details, from the way the software worked to the way the computer looked. He believed that the entire product should be a seamless and delightful experience for the user. The introduction of the Macintosh in 1984 was a major event. Apple launched it with a famous and impactful television commercial during the Super Bowl. The commercial was bold and suggested that the Mac would liberate people from the complicated world of traditional computers. The Macintosh was innovative and different. It wasn't just a tool, it was designed to be friendly and approachable. It helped to popularize the graphical user interface and change the way people thought about computers. While the Mac had its challenges in the early days, it laid the foundation for the modern personal computer. Its focus on user-friendliness and design set Apple apart and influenced the entire technology industry. The Macintosh was a testament to Steve Jobs' vision and his ability to bring revolutionary ideas to life. Chapter 8: Leaving Apple and Finding New Paths. Despite the success of the Macintosh, things started to become complicated for Steve Jobs at Apple. His intense personality and demanding style sometimes clashed with others in the company. There were disagreements about the direction Apple should take. In 1985, after a period of internal conflict, Steve Jobs was forced out of Apple. This was a difficult and painful time for him. The company he had co-founded was now telling him to leave. However, Steve didn't let this setback defeat him. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to start something new. He went on to found two new companies, Next and Pixar. Next was a computer company that focused on high-end workstations for education and business. While Next computers weren't a huge commercial success, they were technologically advanced and introduced some important innovations. Pixar, on the other hand, became a massive success. Steve bought a small animation studio and transformed it into a groundbreaking company that created some of the most beloved animated movies of all time, such as Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. Pixar revolutionized the animation industry with its innovative use of computer graphics. During his time away from Apple, Steve learned a lot about managing a company and creating successful products. He also developed his leadership skills and his understanding of storytelling through his work with Pixar. This period of leaving Apple and exploring new paths was crucial for his personal and professional growth. Chapter 9: The Return to Apple. In the late 1990s, Apple was facing serious problems. The company was struggling to compete, and its products were not as innovative as they once were. Apple decided that they needed a change, and they looked to their past for a solution. In 1997, Apple acquired Next, the computer company Steve Jobs had founded. As part of this acquisition, Steve Jobs returned to Apple, this time in an interim CEO role. Many people were excited about his return, hoping he could bring back the innovation and excitement that had defined Apple in its early years. When Steve returned, Apple was in a difficult situation. They had many different products, but none of them were really standing out. The company was losing money and market share. Steve quickly took charge and made some tough decisions. One of the most significant things he did was to simplify Apple's product line. He famously showed a grid with only 4 products, a desktop and a portable computer for both consumers and professionals. This focus helped Apple to concentrate its efforts and create better products. He also brought back his passion for design and user experience. He believed that Apple's products should not only be powerful but also beautiful and easy to use. This philosophy started to guide all of Apple's decisions. Steve's return marked a turning point for Apple. It was the beginning of a new era of innovation and success that would once again make Apple one of the most influential companies in the world. Chapter 10: The iMac and a New Beginning. One of the first major successes after Steve Jobs' return was the iMac. Released in 1998, the iMac was unlike any computer that had come before it. It was colorful, sleek, and all-in-one, meaning the monitor and the computer were built into a single unit. The iMac was a bold statement. It showed that Apple was no longer afraid to be different. Its design was fresh and modern, and it appealed to a new generation of computer users. It also simplified the computer setup process, making it easier for people to get started. The iMac was a huge hit. It not only saved Apple from its financial troubles but also revitalized the company's image. It showed that Apple could still create innovative and desirable products. The success of the iMac was due to several factors. Its distinctive design made it stand out. It was also easy to use and offered a good internet experience, which was becoming increasingly important at the time. The iMac marked a new beginning for Apple. It demonstrated Steve Jobs' ability to understand the market and to create products that people not only needed but also desired. It set the stage for a series of other successful products that would follow. Chapter 11: The iPod and the Digital Music Revolution. In the early 2000s, the way people listened to music was changing. Digital music files like MP3s were becoming popular, but there wasn't a great way to carry and listen to large collections of these files. In 2001, Apple introduced the iPod. It was a small, sleek device that could hold thousands of songs. It had a simple interface and was easy to use. The iPod revolutionized the way people listened to music. The iPod wasn't just a device, it was also connected to iTunes, Apple's software for managing and buying digital music. This ecosystem made it easy for people to build their digital music libraries and take them anywhere. The iPod was a massive success. It not only transformed Apple into a major player in the consumer electronics market but also had a significant impact on the music industry. It paved the way for the digital music revolution. Steve Jobs played a key role in the development of the iPod. He insisted on a simple and elegant design and a user-friendly interface. He understood that people wanted a device that was both functional and enjoyable to use. The iPod's success showed Apple's ability to enter new markets and to create products that changed people's lives. It was a testament to Steve Jobs' vision and his understanding of consumer needs. Chapter 12: The iPhone and the Mobile Revolution. In 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone, and it changed everything again. At the time, mobile phones were mostly used for making calls and sending text messages. Smartphones existed, but they were often complicated to use. The iPhone was different. It was a sleek, multi-touch device with a large screen. It combined a phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator into one easy-to-use device. The interface was intuitive, and it introduced new ways of interacting with a mobile phone. The iPhone was a revolutionary product. It wasn't just an improvement on existing phones, it was a completely new concept. It introduced features like a virtual keyboard and a seamless web browsing experience on a mobile device. Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone with a memorable presentation, showcasing its innovative features and its potential to transform communication and technology. The iPhone was a huge success and had a profound impact on the mobile industry. It set the standard for smartphones and led to the development of countless similar devices. It also created a massive ecosystem of apps that changed how people lived, worked, and played. The iPhone was another example of Steve Jobs' ability to see the future and to create products that anticipated people's needs and desires. It cemented Apple's position as a leader in innovation. Chapter 13: The iPad and the Tablet Market. After revolutionizing the music and mobile phone industries, Apple set its sights on another market: tablets. In 2010, Apple introduced the iPad. The iPad was a tablet computer that was positioned between a laptop and a smartphone. It had a large touchscreen and was designed for tasks like browsing the web, reading books, watching videos, and playing games. Some people were initially skeptical about the need for a tablet, but the iPad quickly proved to be a popular device. Its ease of use and its versatility made it appealing to a wide range of users. Like Apple's other successful products, the iPad had a clean and intuitive interface. It leveraged the multi-touch technology that had been pioneered with the iPhone and offered a new way to interact with digital content. The iPad created a new category of consumer electronics and quickly became a dominant product in the tablet market. It demonstrated Apple's ability to innovate and to enter new markets successfully. Steve Jobs played a key role in the development of the iPad, emphasizing its simplicity and its potential to bridge the gap between smartphones and laptops. Chapter 14: Steve Jobs' Legacy, Think Different. Steve Jobs passed away in October 2011 after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. His death was a significant loss for the technology world and for millions of people around the globe who admired his vision and his products. Steve Jobs left behind an incredible legacy. He was more than just a businessman. He was a visionary who had a profound impact on multiple industries, including personal computing, music, mobile phones, and animated movies. One of the key aspects of his legacy is his relentless pursuit of excellence and his unwavering belief in the power of design. He believed that technology should not only be functional but also beautiful and easy to use. This philosophy is evident in all of Apple's products, from the original Macintosh to the iPhone and the iPad. Another important part of his legacy is his ability to think different. This was more than just a marketing slogan for Apple. It was a reflection of Steve's own approach to problem solving and innovation. He encouraged people to challenge the status quo and to look at things from a different perspective. Steve Jobs also had a remarkable ability to inspire and motivate people. He set high standards and pushed his teams to achieve what seemed impossible. His passion and his drive were infectious, and they helped to create a culture of innovation at Apple. His legacy continues to live on through Apple, which remains one of the most innovative and influential companies in the world. The products he helped to create have become integral parts of people's lives, changing the way we communicate, work, and entertain ourselves. Beyond Apple, his influence can be seen in the way technology products are designed and marketed across the industry. His emphasis on user experience and his attention to detail have become benchmarks for others to follow. Steve Jobs was a complex and often demanding individual, but his passion for creating great things and his vision for the future have left an indelible mark on the world. His story is a reminder that one person with a powerful idea and the determination to see it through can truly change the world. His journey from a college dropout working in a garage to a global icon is an inspiring tale of innovation, perseverance, and the power of thinking differently. Chapter 15: Lessons from Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs' life story offers many valuable lessons for anyone, whether they are interested in technology, business, or simply in living a more purposeful life. Here are a few key takeaways from his journey. 1. Follow your passion. Steve's early life was marked by a search for what truly interested him. Even when he dropped out of college, he continued to pursue the subjects that sparked his curiosity. This passion was the driving force behind his creativity and innovation. He famously said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." 2. Dare to think different. That think different motto wasn't just a marketing campaign. It was a core principle of how Steve approached problems. He wasn't afraid to challenge conventional wisdom and to envision solutions that others couldn't see. This willingness to be different led to groundbreaking products. 3. Focus on the user experience. Steve had an almost obsessive focus on making products that were not only functional but also incredibly easy and enjoyable to use. He paid attention to every detail, from the design of the hardware to the intuitiveness of the software. This user-centric approach was a key to Apple's success. 4. Design matters. Steve believed that aesthetics were just as important as functionality. He insisted that Apple's products should be beautiful and elegant. This focus on design set Apple apart and created a strong emotional connection with its users. 5. Simplify. Steve had a knack for taking complex technology and making it simple for everyone to understand and use. This ability to simplify was evident in the clean interfaces of Apple's products and in his clear and concise presentations. 6. Don't be afraid to fail. Steve faced setbacks, including being forced out of Apple in its early years. However, he didn't let these failures define him. Instead, he learned from them and used them as fuel for his next ventures. 7. Surround yourself with great people. Steve recognized the importance of working with talented and passionate individuals. He built strong teams and pushed them to do their best work. 8. Have a vision. Steve was a visionary leader who could see the potential of technology to transform people's lives. He had a clear idea of what he wanted to create and was relentless in pursuing that vision. 9. Pay attention to details. Steve was known for his meticulous attention to detail. He believed that even the smallest aspects of a product or presentation could make a big difference in the overall experience. 10. Stay hungry, stay foolish. This famous quote from Steve's Stanford commencement address encapsulates his lifelong approach to learning and innovation. It encourages people to remain curious, to challenge assumptions, and to never stop seeking new knowledge and experiences. Steve Jobs' life is a powerful example of how passion, vision, and a commitment to excellence can lead to extraordinary achievements. His lessons continue to inspire entrepreneurs, designers, and anyone who strives to make a meaningful impact on the world. This brings us to the end of the story of Steve Jobs, the college dropout who changed the world. We hope you enjoyed learning about his struggles, his vision, and the birth of Apple. Remember, even if things seem difficult at the beginning, with passion and hard work, you can achieve great things. Keep practicing your English and keep exploring new stories. Thank you for listening to the English Podcast Station.